Greetings, true believers. Oh wait, actually it's a Stan Lee thing. But welcome to another exciting episode of Ask Away. I know it's been a while since I've made one of these Q&A videos or videos in general actually, and so I apologize for that. You know, I've had a lot of stuff going on with just projects and some side work and things like that. So, you know, hopefully a lot of that stuff is done with and I can move on to creating more videos for you guys on various topics. I started doing sort of reaction videos. My first one was on the Sony sort of conference or event where they unveiled the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Slim. So I'll be doing more of those as well, just to kind of share what my thoughts and opinions are on the stuff that's going on in the industry. But I digress. We're here to answer some questions from you guys that you sent in. So let's jump into that, all right? All right, question number one. Well, okay, this is strangely appropriate. Why the lack of videos? This is from Jeremy S. So, as some of you may know, I've been doing, like I said, a lot of different things. Main thing is I've been working on the redo of sort of this room that I'm in right now, the man cave or game room or whatever you want to call it. There was some damage from a leaking water heater, and so I had to basically tear down some walls, and there was some mold, and it was just a big mess. So that was a catalyst for doing a lot of things, like redoing the floor. The floor was really old, nasty carpet originally. It's the only room in the house that has carpet for some bizarre reason, but we ripped it out and put in wood floor there. Did you know, new patio doors, and I did I painted it the blue and the white that you have here. Ironically, the white here is called frost white, which is awesomely appropriate. And then I started moving. Everything was in the garage, so I moved everything back in here. It's not quite to where I like it, but it's 80% of the way there. So that stuff, and I've been doing a little bit of freelance work here and there. I've been volunteering a lot. I've been coaching or helping coach soccer and baseball over the last little while. So I'm not generally a sports guy, a big sports guy as far as watching and stuff, but I really wanted to get out there and help out some of the local teams. And so I kind of stepped in there and helped in that regard. So a lot of stuff going on, and we'll continue to do so. But now that the room is basically almost done, which was taking a bulk of my time, I should be able to do a lot more videos and things like that. So thanks, Jeremy, for that question, and hopefully that answers your guys' inquiries about, you know, where are all the videos and updates from me. Next question. Are you still working on your game room? How's it progressing? From Filet O Tish. That's a very interesting name. Yes, like I said, the room is about 80% done. When it's done, I'll try to do maybe like a 360 panorama of it. It's not super fancy, but it's got a lot of the stuff that I love in here, the games, the movies. It's got my Virtua Fighter 2 arcade machine. I finally rolled my PlayStation 3 kiosk in here that was in the garage. I got a little TV down here for a lot more of the kind of retro game consoles, like the Genesis, Dreamcast, Saturn, things like that. And then I have in my living room is the bigger TV, and that's where I have my sort of modern consoles like PS3, PS4, and things like that. So once it's sort of cleaned up and totally finished, I will do a panorama shot for you guys to see. But it is, yes, it's practically done. It's just the little things now that I'm working on. Thanks for the question, Filet O Tish. Next question. I don't know if I've answered this before. I apologize if I have. It's like, what's your thoughts on HD remakes? Since there's a lot of them out now. Do you have a fave? From Mark P. You know, I'm a big fan of HD up conversions or you know, retelling the previous games. I don't see an issue with it. I don't consider it milking for money or anything like that. I really think that it's a great idea because there are a lot of great franchises and titles that have been released in the past that there are a lot of people who weren't into gaming then, or weren't, you know, who were either underage and weren't interested in it, or just games wasn't something that they were into. And I don't like to think that if you start gaming at a certain phase that past games are off limits or it's not something that you would look into. There's a ton of great stuff that's been released in the decades before, you know? And, you know, some people, the PlayStation 1 was their first foray into video games. For some people, you know, it was the Xbox 360 or whatever, right? There's always a new generation coming in. And being able to have HD versions or updated versions of some of those classic titles allows them to sort of get a chance to experience that, but with sort of modern sensibilities and modern technology. So I'm really big on that, and I love it. Do you have a fave? Oh, there's so many. I mean, I love the God of War franchises, so I love those remakes. Huge Eco, Shadow of the Colossus stuff, so I loved seeing those versions. I'm definitely looking forward to BioShock, which just came out recently. The BioShock trilogy kind of set. I want to definitely play that again and go through those games. So I don't think there's been any sort of HD remake that I've had dislike with or issues. The Sly Cooper collection, that was awesome to go back and play those. So yeah, definitely check those out. They're great bang for the buck. You generally get a lot of gameplay for a lot less money. So if you see some of those compilations and you haven't really tried them, definitely try them out, because there's a reason that they're being HDified or, you know, released for modern consoles. They're really popular and they stand the test of time. Thanks, Mark P. What is your current most anticipated game for this year? From Yazzle Dazzle. I guess it would have to be Last Guardian. You know, I'm a fan of those games from that team, and you know, while the team shuffled a lot, Eco and Shadow of the Colossus were just amazing games for me. And even though Last Guardian has been in development for like a decade, been a part of a decade, you know, I can't wait to play it. It pained me a lot that it got delayed again recently till I think December now, but I know it'll be worth the wait. I'm really pumped for that one. That is definitely got me excited. It's not really a standalone game, but Rise of Iron for Destiny. You know, it's been a long time since I've really dived into Destiny, and it's good to get some new content to get me back in there and playing with my old Sega peeps. So that is something definitely, that's coming out very soon, next week actually. So that should be a really exciting time. I'm really excited for a lot of the changes and additions that they've made to the game. What is something else big that is coming out? I don't know, off the hand, those are the main ones right now that I'm thinking about. There's probably a whole list of games coming out this year that I need to play, but those are the two things that pop into mind right now. Are you getting PlayStation VR? What are your thoughts on VR in general? From Jason S. You know, I'm really excited about VR. I truly think that it's the next step of where games are going. You know, this is the first generation of that with the Vive and the Oculus Rift and PlayStation VR. And people are learning, right? This is a whole new kind of world and dynamic of game development. And there's all new best practices and all new rules that have to be established for that. So it's a new frontier, right? It's the wild, wild west. And it's very cool and very exciting to see where things go from here. Having tried, you know, all of the VR systems and played a variety of games on them, I dig it. I think it's great. I think the experiences, while on the simplistic side right now, still are neat, immersive sort of experiences. I think that once you try it out, you'll want to get one of some sort, whether you're a PC gamer or a console gamer. I'm definitely excited about PlayStation VR coming out next month in October, and I can't wait to play it some more, to sit there and just see what compelling sort of adventures, you know, await us. And I just can't imagine 2, 3, 4 years from now what sort of experiences will be available, right? And if you think about it from the simple perspective of having the ability to project a large screen TV into a virtual space in the air, you know, why would you even want to play on TVs eventually, right? TVs will be a crutch. You know, why not sit on the sofa or lay in the bed and just play a video game, even if it's just a non-VR one, projected to, you know, 100-inch, 150-inch screen out in space. I mean, that is just awesome. And being able to watch Netflix in that environment or whatever, right? I mean, it's a very exciting frontier, and hopefully I get to work on some VR games in the future at some point, because I definitely have some great ideas, and I think there's so much potential to be had there. But there's going to be growing pains, just with every platform at the beginning. Developers are going to play it safe. There isn't going to be as much innovation, but a few years from now, you're going to see some compelling stuff, and the sky's the limit. So yeah, definitely excited about VR and sort of where it's going and what the future has to offer. Let's see. Oh, okay, Sonic one. Are you excited about Sonic Mania from Marco Parco 360? Yes, I mean, I am a big Sonic fan, and loved what I saw about Sonic, Mania and the return to the 2D roots. And above all, though, I think what's great about it is that it shows that Sega is sort of listening to the community, and also not only that, but bringing in members of the community to create these games, which is often unheard of. There isn't many situations out there in the video game industry where fans are creating content and publishers are supportive of that content, or feel that the people are so talented that they bring them in, right? I mean, you could probably count on one hand the instances where that has happened. One other one I think is when Ubisoft was creating sort of the history of Assassin's Creed, and they were going to create a history book, a compelling book. I think they brought in some people who are huge fans of the Assassin's Creed IP and wrote the wiki page and websites and stuff, and helped them to draft an actual history of Assassin's Creed and put it into a book form. So that's another instance, but that's not a game, right? That's just literature or words. Here is a situation where Christian Whitehead and other folks who are part of the Sonic fan base and who actually spent their own time creating games or engines that allowed for creation of Sonic type games, and just did out of the love for the character. And Sega, seeing this and seeing the versatility of his engine and his potential and his excitement, enthusiasm, brought him on board. And it started, of course, with those ports in the mobile games, which are great. The Sonic mobile games are awesome, and now the next step, which is a full-fledged console titles that is both a mix of kind of classic Sonic, but with sort of modern sensibilities and modern additions to it and new content. So that's really exciting. I'm really pumped. I'm really especially excited about the collector's edition. If you haven't seen it, it's great. I mean, it's kind of weird to have a collector's edition for a digital product, something that comes with physical goods, but you just get a code with it. But, I understand the whole sort of semantics behind that, but still an awesome limited edition. I'm sure it's going to sell out quickly. PSA for those who have Amazon Prime, you can get a big discount on Amazon. I think it was like $55 for that with the Amazon Prime discount for the pre-order. So definitely jump on that. But looking forward to that game. Can't wait till next year until it comes out, and I'm sure I'll be doing some videos on it once I get my hands on it some more. And one last question. I just wanted to keep this video tight and relatively short. Do you have a favorite genre of games? Again, I don't know if I have gone over this, but my number one, if it was a few years ago, if you talked to me like 15 years ago, my number one genre by far would have been fighting games. I mean, my whole high school years and college years were fighting games, and going to the arcade and playing Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, Fighter's Destiny, Tekken, and everything else. Virtua Fighter, which, gosh, I hope I mentioned that just a second ago, but Virtua Fighter for sure. Primal Rage, like everything was all about fighting games, and seeking out 7-Elevens and any place else that had the latest Street Fighter or sequel, or illegal kind of mod of it, like Street Fighter Accelerator Edition, which was awesome, by the way. But that's what I did. Games, when I played Super Nintendo, PlayStation, everything, I played fighting games. That was the number one thing that I bought. Toshinden and Mortal Kombat ports and everything like that. So, but, as I got older and I didn't have time to invest in, getting much better at fighting games. I still play them because I enjoy them, but I'm not as competitive and I don't spend as much time. I've moved on to sort of these third-person kind of action adventure games, right? Everything that that genre that includes Lara Croft and Jak and Daxter and everything else in between, Uncharted and Assassin's Creed. I still kind of throw into that mix and stuff like that. So there's a whole large genre of that stuff, and I love action platforming and running around in a 3D environment and solving puzzles and things like that. So definitely looking forward to the new Tomb Raider on PS4. Finally, it's coming out. It's been a year since it came out on Xbox One. I was expecting it to come out sooner, but they're doing a lot of modifications to it, making it like the definitive version, so I can excuse that. But definitely looking forward to that, playing basically what would be the definitive version of Tomb Raider for sure on PS4. So that is by far my number one genre, and anytime there's a new sort of third-person action adventure game that comes out, I'm there on day one. So thank you, Betafish, for sending in this question. Thank all of you guys for sending in these questions. I definitely appreciate it. You could always send me questions by posting them in the comment section of each of these videos, or tweeting me at frostman007. So I always compile them and I kind of grab 7 or 8 of them and try to answer them as best as I can. So hopefully it's entertaining for you guys. I love seeing the questions come in. I love trying to respond to them to give you a little bit more of insight and opinion on my behalf. So that's it. Thanks again for tuning in for this 3rd episode of Ask Away. I will see you next time for the next great big adventure. Okay? Thanks. Take care. Bye.